Yeah, thanks for all the excitement and coverage and buzz that this group in this room helped us create surrounding this game. And just really pissed off we didn't show up and do our jobs. And we credit to USC. They were tougher. And that's very tougher and more disciplined, and they did their jobs, and we weren't as tough, and we didn't do our jobs. It's pretty much like this. Nothing to do with that. And we're going to have to do some real hard looks in the mirror. It's a very weird dichotomy because on the one hand, we have a team that's lost 2 games all year, and we have a lot to still play for, and we have a lot to be proud of. And at the same time, I'm really angry. And we let each other down today. And we always say the tougher, more together, more disciplined team wins, and we didn't have their back. These 2 right here fought their butts off. And they were trying everything to bring everybody with them. And we need more people that can be counted on to do their jobs like these 2 did. Period.
Mike.
Tough loss, especially with everything riding on it, but as you said, there's still more to play. Do you give yourself a little bit of time to switch gears, and then how do you get into that mentality? Actually, all of you, what are your thoughts on that?
I think that we've pretty much said, look, this is the way this train is going, and if you don't think you can make changes to be on it, tell us now. I want to have everybody that goes with us to Indiana to be going in the same direction. So the way we turn it around is people make a commitment and a choice, and they be counted on. And we were going to take 2 days off, but we're not. We're going to take tomorrow off, and they're all going to watch the film, and we're going to come back ready on Monday to figure out what needs to happen next. You guys want to answer that?
Yeah. As a team, we'll all take accountability for where we fell short. I felt like we were perfectly prepared to go out there and win that game by our coaches. And it's on us. We'll take full accountability. We'll watch the film individually. We'll watch the film as a group and figure out where we can be better for each other and for the school.
Yeah, they said it. Just everyone taking accountability of how we can improve and what went wrong, and really watching over the film with the scout in mind, with the mentality that you came out to play in mind. And I'll be the first to say, I need to go back and watch it too. I need to learn from what I did wrong and how I can be better, because it's March now and these games are going to be tough.
The coach mentioned how you fought in the game. You had a little tussle with Raya, where you ended up taking the ball and the jump ball. What were you trying to do as far as in that moment when you guys had that tie up in the game?
Just trying to finish out the play. I felt like I wanted to give it all I had in this game and show it for my teammates. So just trying to get everyone going, show what this game meant to me, to Gabs, to I would think most of us, all of us. But yeah, just trying to give full effort.
This is for all you guys. Obviously, you both very talented teams, and you guys do have a lot to play for in Indianapolis in the tournament. But is there a part of you guys that does want another crack at USC, knowing the stakes that it has in the city, just the rivalry, and both great teams? Is there a part of you guys that wants another crack at it?
100%. Absolutely. Yes. If you're a competitor, yes, bring it on. And if we don't, there's something bigger wrong. If anyone in our locker room would answer differently, don't come back. Yes.
Kiki and Gabs, can you kind of compare this moment to anything else you've experienced so far in your athletic careers, and from a leadership perspective, what can you draw on to kind of get your team out of this and get a little bit tougher at what he's asking for you?
Yeah, I think the disappointment is a little bit similar to our Sweet 16 game last year where we lost to LSU. I think similar disappointment. Same with our Pac-12 tournament game last year. And I think, again, we'll regroup. We'll get better. We'll respond from this for sure. But I do think that we're going to have to figure out a way to be different than we have been this entire year.
Yeah, similar to Kiki. I mean, sadly, we've been in situations like this before, and we don't like it. So we really got to change. And from like the leadership perspective that you asked, I think that for me personally, I just try to play with a lot of heart, and I try to feed that to my teammates. And, you know, that's just, I try to do the best I can with that.
There's a lot they can draw on, though. There's a lot they've done right. And right now it feels like this cumulative disappointment, you know, but the reality is, you know, they fought from 12 down against Iowa and came back to win. They've fought, obviously, you know, there's several games that we've played against really good teams that we have showed the toughness. And there is a lot for them to draw on, but I think it's hard right now to think in the moment. They have earned a lot of toughness. They aren't the same team they've been, but that doesn't change the fact that we've got to change things right now and get back to our character and what we need to be.
Cori, how does that double bye you're going to get with the Big Ten tournament kind of help knowing
Yeah.
you play till Friday, but yet maybe the team you play will have played and
Yeah, I think it's a mixed bag. I think on the one hand, you want it, you know, because you know you're going to have, you know, 3 games in 3 days. So when you're trying to win a championship, you have to. That's a huge advantage, you know. I think in the long run, especially when everyone's beat up this time of year, and at the same time, the reality is other people have sort of gotten the jitters out. They've gotten the rhythm, and so you know that's always the challenge. But if you're asking me which challenge I'd want the challenge of the double bye.
Hey, Coach, I'd like to dig on some different games. At what point in the game are starting to see things not going a different direction?
Well, we tried to make a fair, like the first half, we were not switching as much, and we didn't execute what we said we were going to do. And that's the hard part is it's easier to make adjustments as a coaching staff when you go out. We always tell our team, if you do what we ask and it doesn't work, it's our fault. If you go out and you don't do what we ask, it's your fault. And so it's really hard to go back into the locker room and go, okay, let's make this adjustment. We did make the adjustment in the second half that we started switching the ball screens more. We started, having some different rotations that we tried to have to give Juju some different looks, and I thought we defended much better in the second half. But it's really hard when the bottom line, Coach Tony said it in the locker room, is that we didn't come out ready. We were not locked in as a whole unit, as a whole team. And so you're trying to think as a coach, okay, can we get us locked in to execute what we said after watching hours and hours and hours of film of what is going to take? Or do we just need to start over? And, we did make the choice to make some changes in how we played the screens, but those are always going to happen in games. We were beating them on some switches they were having, and Gabs was doing a great job on those slips, and then they made some adjustments. But it's only an adjustment game if your team is totally locked in. And then you can make a lot of adjustments. But, I'm looking at, bottom line is we're going to keep some of those things in our locker room. But bottom line is these two did everything they could to get them together. I know I think you all know me well enough now that I'm going to say myself first. But I'll tell you, our team was prepared. And we knew what to do, and we didn't do it. And so we got to figure out the why. I know our team's hearts. I trust their work ethic, and I trust their hearts, but something got in the way of us doing our jobs tonight and being dependent upon to do our jobs. So, as soon as, we made a run, the biggest thing we had to do is quit turning the ball over because they were scoring in transition off of our turnovers. I think they ended up with 27 points off of our 16 turnovers. That's a lot. 11 second chance points, and we missed 8 free throws. That's a bad recipe to win a game like this.
Coach, you've said it here several times throughout the season, giving a call to action to your players. Sometimes, most of the times it was during a win. This time now it's, leading the loss. How do you get them, how do you attack that challenge of getting them cohesive together and get on board, especially this late in the season?
Well, I don't think there's much time. A choice and a commitment needs to be made. And if you haven't been humbled by this experience, the pain of where you are has to be greater than the pain it will take to change. You want the pain of discipline or the pain of regret? And right now, we are dealing with the pain of regret. And what are you willing to do about it? And our staff is always going to go first and go, hey, where could we have done differently? Should I have called that second time out here? Should I have done this? Should I have done that? We are always going to go back and look at that first. But we got to meet in the middle. And right now, it's really painful. But what are you willing to do about it? And, that's what's the next 48 hours are going to be for us, is making that decision. And that's our job as leaders. The one thing I'm really confident in is the relational capital and investment that we have made with our players over time. And so to have honest, hard conversations and to know that we are not attacking them as humans, we are committed to their best. And when they are operating less than their best, it is our job to get them to make a course correction. And we need a course correction right now.
Just looking back at this game, you guys made that run in the third quarter, cut it to 4,
Yeah.
and they ended up closing on that 9-0 run in the period. Just what did you see differently for that?
We turned the ball over. We didn't execute the scout, and we didn't go to what we were supposed to be going to, whether that's offensively, defensively. But those were just mental errors and self-inflicted wounds. They didn't do anything. I didn't think they really did anything to prevent us from, being able to run our offense. But we just turned the ball over and made bad decisions.
Cori, even after the loss tonight, you still went up and did your live post-game interview. How difficult was that for you in that moment, and why was it important to, address the fans?
Yeah, you can't be about character, consistency, and gratitude, and growth, and choose when you apply it. And if I expect our players to respond in that way, and to make right choices, and to be about the right things, we get a lot. We got a lot of people supported us by showing up today and waited in line and bought tickets, and the administration and the support staffs that worked so hard to create what an incredible environment. And I would be really classless if I didn't show up and do the right thing even when I don't feel like it. And that's my job. And if I can't do that, how can I expect them to?
Coach, it seemed like the ball didn't get in Lauren's hands as much in this game. Was it difficult to get her more touches? Was it when she was spread out, or was it something else?
We turned the ball over too much. I thought when we ran our offense, she got quality touches. She had some issues in terms of having some turnovers on travels, and we always want to put it in her hands in different ways, and there's a lot of different reasons, and I'll see it more clearly when I see the film. But we were trying to run stuff to get downhill drives against certain people, and to get Lauren touches in scoring positions. And I think we want to have a high usage rate for those kinds of scoring touches, and I'm sure there were times where we could have executed better, but that was part of what we're frustrated about, is that we would come out and say, hey, this is what we're trying to do, and someone couldn't be counted on to do their job. And that affects the team. When you don't do your job, it affects the kind of teamwork catches we get. And you're not going to get as many things in transition at this time of year. You have to be able to have the discipline to execute in the half court, and we didn't. And so, I think Lauren was pretty frustrated, and so she's, in terms of she thought she was getting fouled more, but reality is that we weren't being as productive. But I'm sure that we can always, Tony talked about it in the scout today, about when we're the most efficient team in the Big Ten, the only thing that can take that away is if you turn the ball over. If we have solid possessions, we're not going to make every shot, but we're going to be pretty darn efficient. But when you have empty possessions like that, it's really difficult. And so it's the combination of not getting a paint touch for Lauren, but the other one that compounds it is that when we turn it over, we're also giving up threes and easy buckets in transition D. So, I mean, I think everybody's got things that they can look at, but obviously when we can get Lauren quality scoring touches on a consistent basis, it helps everybody. We fell in love. We needed to be more north and south than east and west, and that's not just off the dribble. We needed that off the pass as well.
Gabriella, obviously this is a tough night, but what gives you the confidence to know that this team can really make the adjustments and move forward with this to where you guys are looking back at the end of the season and just see this as just like a bump in the road and just while you guys are hopefully celebrating something greater?
I have a lot of confidence in my teammates. We work so hard together, and our coaches put us in great positions to come out and execute, and obviously we didn't do that today, but I think like Coach Cori mentioned, this is our second loss, and we've been pretty successful in our other games, and I know what my team is capable of, and I know that we'll fix what we need to fix. Because it's March now and the time is now. So I still have so much confidence in my teammates, and I know they work so hard, and yeah.
And there's no substitute. I think one of the ways that it really happens that we have confidence of, we watched a video yesterday about team glory. And the coach of Notre Dame football was saying he had 120 guys that only cared about team glory. And we cannot let anything come in our boat. Nothing. Boats don't sink because of what's outside the boat. Boats sink because of what they let inside the boat. And we have got to be about, everybody's got to shed anything individually. Like, this is a team game. And bottom line is, the way you fix it, the way we can be so optimistic is everybody comes in willing to shed something, and we're only committed to team glory, period. And if you can't choose that, you can't choose us.